if you're on the sideline or you have been fading the fact that an alt season might be coming this year, it's not too late to change that right now, because the signal is finally in. The speculation was already there, like, hey, it should be coming right now, but it's a little depending on what the balance sheet is going to do. And we finally got some good news right now. So what news has just been dropped? Fed minutes in their expectations of the Federal Reserve balance sheet policy survey respondents on average saw the process of runoff concluding by mid-2025. Now, if you listen to this, you might be like, what the hell does that mean? What they mean with this is that they now expect that QT will stop mid-2025. It's not saying that QE will begin, right? And what's the difference between QE and QT? QE is where they increase the balance sheet. People can take loans easier. They can afford to go into risk assets, and therefore the altcoin market is going to make everybody rich. That's the definition, right? QT is when they, quantitative tightening, right? Where they squeeze the balance sheet, it's going down. And in that case, not good for risk assets. So it's not a message that QE will start. And like Jerome Powell said not too long ago is, hey, if you watch Fomo's video, you should like the video. But other than that, what he said as well is no QE until the rates are at zero. Yeah, if that's actually true, then we don't have to expect QE anytime soon, right? The rates are way above zero right now. However, it doesn't really matter, because do we need QE in order for an alt season? Well, historically speaking, not really, right? Let's take a look at that. Now, first of all, this is all only accurate if it turns out that alt season is indeed being created by the balance sheet, right? It could be that it has nothing to do with alt season. And then we're going to take a look like, okay, what else might we need, right? But first off, do we need QE? Well, no, because you see right here, this purple line is the balance sheet. In 2021, we had a pretty hard period of quantitative easing, right? Especially after the COVID crash, they had to print a lot of money and the balance sheet was going up hard, and therefore we got a good alt season. However, we had one other alt season, and that was in 2017. And if we look at, so this chart right here is altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, so alt season, right? And the purple is the balance sheet. If we look at 2017, we had a bigger alt season, but I don't see the balance sheet going up right here, right? It's because there was no QE. It's just that there was no QT as well. It was just going flat. And so far in crypto's history, at least, what we see is that we only had no alt season if we were in QT, right? QT started right here. Alt season stopped right away. Okay, could happen. Could be a coincidence, right? QE ended here. QT started. And alt season stopped right away. That's a lot of coincidence, right? So it could definitely be that QT is the only reason why we don't have an alt season. If that's true, right, which we, don't know yet until it happens, but if that's true, then there's great news, right? Because if they are now expecting, and it's not confirmed, it's not a promise, it's not, but like they are usually pretty careful with these words, right? They don't come out for no reason. If that's true and QT is going to stop mid-2025, then we can finally see altcoins on the Bitcoin pair having a good relief. Now, that would be fantastic news, okay? And let me tell you why. Because if that happens mid-2025, right, then it means that there's a good chance that Bitcoin is still in a bull market, right? If it would be somewhere in 2026, I would say like, okay, altcoins might go up on the Bitcoin pair, right? But if Bitcoin goes down on the dollar, then your altcoins are not necessarily doing very well, right? But mid 2025, yeah, I mean, that's my expectation since forever, is that Bitcoin will be in a bull market for, yeah, probably the biggest part, if not like everything of 2025, right? Even if it just continues sideways from here, which it don't, right? It doesn't, right? I mean, Bitcoin is very clear right now. We go sideways for long, up hard, sideways, long, up hard, etc., etc., etc. These are these steps, right? So my trajectory is that we will go up somewhere around, maybe April, right? Why? I looked at the average days of going sideways for Bitcoin, right? For this part, this part, this part, this part. Take the average, then it will put us at the first, second week of April. Is that a guarantee that it will start to go up right there? No, of course not, but you have to, put something as a target, right? Now, also the average of how much we went up after that. And that could put Bitcoin at 140K. Well, possible, not a prediction, just something I feel like, okay, if I have to, guess something. But that's not even what the video is about, because even if Bitcoin goes sideways, right? Nothing happens to Bitcoin. It's not going up, not going down. For some reason, it's becoming a 100K stablecoin. Fine, right? If QT is going to stop mid 2025, then we can finally see altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And if they outperform a Bitcoin, which is sitting at 100K, then it is going to get completely crazy, because the example that I gave a lot of times, I'm not going to show you again, is that even, for example, when XRP started to outperform Bitcoin a little bit, XRP on the dollar pair went up with 6, 7x, something like that, right? Because Bitcoin was that high already. Now, that's a high cap. I think that that's what we are going to see with the entire market, right? But maybe even way better, because the pump of XRP happened during QT. So there's a good chance that that will stop. They say mid-2025. It's from now all speculation, right? Is it going to happen in March? Is it, well, it's not mid-2025. So it could be in June, could be in May, could be in July. I don't know. Doesn't really even matter, right? Because I know that a lot of people have been wrecked by buying the wrong altcoins, or buying them too soon, or the combination of that, or whatever, and they want their altcoins to recover right now, right? But you should consider the fact that the more time we spend at the lows, the more you can allocate at the lows, and the more money you will make once it goes up again as well. And alt seasons can be very quick and extreme. The people who are new into crypto, and with new, I mean anywhere after 2021, then you have not experienced an alt season yet. And I think it is hard to imagine the type of, like, it's getting crazy, it's getting hectic, it is even a little bit scary. You have no time to think, right? Like, there's like, what the fuck is happening right here, right? If you look at this last alt season, we were sitting at the extreme absolute lows in December 2020. And in May 2021, we were basically sitting at the highs, and we had another run up like that, but it did a 180 completely in a matter of 4 or 5 months, right? 5. So that's really crazy. And here, this run up in 2017 went even crazier, because we were sitting really low in December, and we were sitting at the highs in January. Right? 1 month later, you went from fuck this whole crypto space to, I don't know what color my Lambo should be, right? Like, what the hell? Right? What the hell? Crypto can turn around like that. Now, again, I don't want to make this video too excited, like, oh, we all gonna get rich and this and that. But I do feel like you should be also prepared for the fact that that might happen, because there is a danger as well if that happens, right? A lot of people right now, they're saying, I'm selling the bottom. Okay, you can do that. But what are you going to do when the market turns around, right? Are you, okay with the fact that you bought high, sold low, missed out? Or are you gonna buy high, sell low, and buy high again and then get wrecked? Like, what are you gonna do, right? This is gonna be dangerous for you, right? So please keep that in mind. Now, is Altseason and the balance sheet turning around, is that really like a change that happens instantly? Well, let's take another look again, right? So let's overlay the balance sheet. And what we can see right here, we had QT, right? What QT? QT, yep. Here it stopped. And look what happened. Here we go. Look what happened. QT stopped here. The altcoin market went up right away, even a little sooner, right? I don't know the exact day, but it looks like it stopped at in the week of September the 2nd, right? And the bottom for the altcoin market here, this first bottom was in a month before that. Right? So it could be that, and that's just based on one cycle, right? So don't pin anything to that. But if that repeats, then it could be, of course, that if, I don't know, QT is going to stop in May, that the bottom is in April, right? Or maybe it's going to like be 2 or 3 months earlier than that, right? And the bottom is already in. That could also be. I mean, we have this wick right here, which is, quite like, it's not impossible to take out, of course, but it's another 15% move down. Now, you should realize that we now have the announcement that there's likely a stop coming to QT. We had also the news that QE is not starting anytime soon, but that was not able to bring this down, right? We had the inflation rates being super high, but that was not able to bring this down. So I feel like, man, we had two pieces of terrible news actually, which wasn't able to bring this chart down. And we now have one piece of good news as well, which might keep it elevated. So if we can take this low out, I don't know, maybe not. Overall, I think that DCA is now really the best answer. Right? You don't want to be there when it turns around, blap, and you are sidelined, right? That's not what you want to do. Now, overall, apart from all of this, how is everything looking in the first place? Right? Well, we can see that the S&P just made a new all-time high, right? So we can be, I don't want to say bearish because that's just unwise, but we can be cautious about the market, and that's always good. But you also have to realize, like, macro-wise, it is looking really good. It's looking really good, right? Again, QT probably going to stop. The Fed debt had a debt ceiling of $36 trillion, right? Now, the funny thing is, though, that it is kind of sitting there. So they cannot take any more debt. Now, what if they cannot take any more debt? Then they have to do something, right? And what might they do? I don't know, print money. They have that option. Like, that won't be their preferred option. But that's always an escape plan. And that escape plan happens to be like terribly good for altcoins, right? For crypto, but especially for altcoins. So that's looking fantastic as well. What else is looking really good? The dollar is weakening. Like, Trump came into the office and he said, I want a weaker dollar. Now, you can say whatever you want, but Trump is kind of a capitalist, right? He's a big investor and he's in for the money, right? Well, as we are investors, I am fine with that. Let him weaken that dollar. I mean, he announced it, and look what happened after he announced it. Like, it went down straight away after he stepped into the office, right? So it does show, like, as far as something like this is under his control, he does what he says, and he says what he does. So that's a really good thing. And the dollar is still very high. I think this is sitting at a short-term support point. But overall, if this goes down, that's also great for risk assets, right? So S&P making new highs, like I said, as well. That's beautiful. and try to be a little optimistic about that, right? Because you might look at this chart and be like, whoa, this is going to collapse anytime. Yeah, look at the full history of S&P. Like that you could have said that anywhere. And of course, we had our moments when we had recessions, especially where it collapsed for a while. But overall, like this is gonna go make new all-time highs, right? Also, you might feel like, yeah, it's already sitting at a new all-time high, so we'll go down now. Yeah. If you look at the last cycle around this period of the market in February 2021, was also sitting at like, what is it, $3,800, right? You could have said like, whoa, this is going too vertical. It should go down. But what happened? It just kind of went up until December 2021 in a straight line before it finally went down and sent everything into a bear market. And this is more than like, this has to do with the global money flow as well, right? And the business cycle. This is more than just crypto. And crypto is just following that. Right now, as we know, Bitcoin has already been following that. Bitcoin is in a crazy bull market. We can't deny that, right? I mean, it went up from 15K to 110K almost. Like, that's crazy. So that's great. And now the money can flow into the lower caps. And I do think it's great that more and more people are now at this moment coming to the realization like, hey, there's more in crypto than just meme coins and getting rugged and scam coins and this and that. And they will take a look at the utility coins again. Because at the end of the day, people, they want to also invest in something that they can rely on a little bit more than just a dude in his basement creating something with an animal or a fart coin or whatsoever. Like, that's not something that you can actually rely on, right? I'm not saying that all meme coins are bad necessarily. Like, there are definitely some that you can invest in and that can make some good profit. But certainty, at least relative certainty, is worth a lot for people as well. And they got that with Bitcoin, and you will keep on getting that with Bitcoin, right? You will probably keep on getting that with Ethereum as well, but that's already something that people can argue about, right? Bitcoin, there's no argument possible in my opinion. However, again, like I said, the money flow eventually will happen. People will take more risk. And in the crypto sector, how do you take more risk? By stepping up on the risk curve, basically, or stepping down on the market cap ladder. And therefore going into altcoins. So the timing, it fits. The narrative, it fits. The sentiment, it fits as well, because there are a couple people watching this right now and be like, I'm so fucking mad right now. There's not going to be an alt season because I already sold. So it should not happen. Otherwise, I'm wrecked, right? The sentiment, it fits as well. And I think that that's a really important indicator, to be honest, right? So I don't want to go over too many charts for the rest of this video. But, take a look at this. Look, we can make it a little more technical and be like, what else technically, because charts and charting and that exists for a reason, right? These are not just lines. These are human emotions and entry and exit points and where they play even and therefore where they buy and sell something, right? Therefore, things like trend lines and double tops and double bottoms, they play a role as well. And what we just had on the others dominance chart is an insane double bottom at this whole support point right here, right? We had this bottom in June 2023, and just in February this month, 2025, we had that capitulation happened just coincidentally to be exactly at this point. All right, I don't know, but this could definitely mean something. So this is really interesting to see as well. Yeah, and again, apart from the fact that others Bitcoin, again, is sitting exactly at this trend line in Q1 of the post-halving year, just like here, and just like here before we went into an alt season. There are too many things that are lining up right now. And I think especially now with this news that came out about QT, that there's no longer a denying that alt season will come, right? The question is when. And when we talk about alt season, guys, I don't mean necessarily that you can, you know, pick a coin and invest in it and everything will do 100x. But the overall altcoin market, especially the altcoins that are holding up on their Bitcoin pair, they will finally start to outperform, right? So is it still possible to lose money in a altcoin bull market? Definitely. Not everything will go up. So be a little careful of what you invest in. But I think that the odds are going to get way better, right? So let me know what you think below. When will QT finally end? It's all speculation. And what do you think that the crypto market is how it's gonna respond to that? Very, very, very curious what you think about it. So for now, thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Welcome. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.